Alright, today we're back and we've got a 2020 Ducati Streetfighter V4. Gorgeous bike. Customer upgraded it with some Marcassini forged magnesium wheels. He obviously thought the forged aluminum wheels weren't good enough, so he went to the magnesium, which, hey, awesome. Also, I got the comfort seat here, got some Rizoma bits, and he customized it all himself. He also put the STM dry clutch on there, you can see, like we did with the V4SP. So right now we've got a full Acra system, P08 sprint filter, and let's see how she runs here. Because right now we have bone stock mapping. You can see right there on the startup screen, it does not say Racing Evo. This is saying service in 27 days, so I guess you better get on that. There we go, fires up. Of course we have the engine light for the servo error, the exhaust. Let's get underway here. Oh, well, I guess the feeling's a little bit off. Let's try that again. Alright, get some more gas here. I can hear it die. Yeah, I gotta get more gas off the line here. So, obviously that's a fault. I'll be going over some of the problems that happen stock with this bike while we ride it. Yeah, stock, this thing is not so fun with the stock mapping on it with exhaust. It's definitely fights you to start up at times. It also has issues with warm starting, just getting out of the hole. It may die. Look, I've got all kinds of lights on here because I've got errors. And the weird thing is Acra, you can't really get Acra mapping at this point because they're so stringent about who gets the mapping, and it has to be a race bike with race registration, or sorry, a non-op registration with no lights, and you have to show proof of that, and they get really crazy now with this stuff. So it's really hard to get that mapping. And if you go for other mapping like Termi, I've seen, for example, it's really lean. It just there's a lot of customer complaints. So I'll kind of go over what we've got going on here. So first impressions here, I think I have all the wheelie controls off. Oh, there's like no power in this thing. Oh yeah. She definitely feels sluggish compared to a V4. And it has the same engine. I think they just kind of tweaked the mapping around to kind of give it more torque. You want more torque, obviously, for scenarios like this bike should be in, because this is more like an urban rider. They want you to treat this thing like where I am now. Stop and go traffic on the streets, not insanely fast. That's why there's not a whole lot of aero on this thing. It's not really meant for anything that's going insanely fast. So that's why they even changed the gearing. I think it's 10% less gearing final drive. There's more torque into the mapping, where they sacrificed a few ponies just to get that. So, but that's the objective with this bike. It isn't like they're trying to do something bad for the customer here. This is what the bike is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be giving you more torque, more out of the line, stuff like that. So, let's see what else we can do here with this thing. I want to get some power out of it. Well, I gotta say, I've been trying to deal with the throttle restrictions here, and man, I don't even think I can get the tire up in first gear, and I have DWC, that's dynamic wheelie control. It's completely off. I mean, it's off right now. And I'm trying to gas first gear with everything, and it's not even getting the tire off the ground. I mean, it's really sad right now. So those are the restrictions we're talking about. I mean, we're not even talking about an actual full D restriction until 5th gear on this bike. That's how bad it is. I mean, it still feels lively with the gearing and the extra torque they've added to the mapping. But it's definitely not what I would consider impressive, especially for the V4 engine, which is, especially when we did the SP, I mean, it's a powerhouse. It's almost scary how powerful the bike is. And this has the same engine. We're just dealing with different gearing and different mapping. So, I mean, I'll show you here in a second here once we take off. I'll try to make first gear come off the ground here. You'll see what happens. So here we go, first gear. Check this out, power, right? That's me trying to give it like everything right there, and it should be coming up. I mean, it's 7,000-8,000 RPM, it really should. Oh, there it went a little bit. But I mean, any other V4 mapped, especially with the BT Flash, I mean, that was maybe 75% throttle. I mean, that should have looped me if that was anything else. So stock mapping, not impressive whatsoever as far as power delivery goes, in my opinion. Of course, it may be enough for some people, and that's great. But I'm really a guy that likes to push the bike, so I like to see what it can do, and I like it to scare me. So that's usually reminiscent of a Ducati for me. Is if it scares the crap out of me, it's a good Ducati, and right now it's not scaring me at all. It's really annoying coming off the light and really have to worry about the gas and stalling the bike right now because the fueling is so bad. And that could also have something to do with the wheeling issue as well. You know, the fact that we got a full system on here with a stock map. Second gear. Come on, baby. That was it right there. That was everything to the limiter. Alright, so I'm going to get this girl up into the hills here. And we're going to see exactly what kind of legs she's got. Put her to the test on the top end. See what she can do. I'm not expecting a whole tremendous amount, just due to a lot of factors here. The throttle restrictions are crazy. It's not really meant to go crazy top speeds just because it's more of an urban rider. There's no real aero on this bike. I mean, it's going to be all of me just to hold on to this damn thing. So let's see what she does. All right, finally getting some top end stuff here. Put it in second gear here. Wait till I see it kind of clear. All right, let's see what you can do. Definitely need some help. I can feel it lay over big time. And they put some stuff in the road here. I want to kind of get this crazy here. It feels really nice and balanced in a turn though, man. The on-off throttle is pretty decent transition, not bad. I'm in race right now. Pretty decent, but you can feel it laying over really bad. I mean, not insane, not as bad as, like, let's say for the Kawasaki, for example, but it is laying over for sure. And I'll try to tuck more, but there's really no relief from the wind I get whatsoever. I mean, it's attacking me. It's trying to rip me off this bike because it's really not meant to go as fast as I'm putting it. But I really want to test to see what kind of speeds we get out of this thing, so we can test pre and post flash. So I'll give it one more chance here down the hill, give it a good rip. All right, here we go. Now we've tested that, it's time to do some 60 through 130 testing. All right, we're ready here for the 60 through 130 testing. You can see I've got the 60 through 130 marked off here on the Dragy app. And let's get it. All right, 60 through 130, Ducati Streetfighter. Start at 40 miles an hour here, let's go. Feeling that was pretty slow. Did not feel fast. And part of that can be credited to those nasty throttle restrictions. To recap here, let's go over a few things. I'm not impressed with the throttle whatsoever. First gear, second gear, third gear, I mean, it's all odd. It's not linear. There's flat spots. It's the way you gas it. It doesn't feel right. Those are throttle restrictions, and they're based on torque maps, throttle maps. There's a whole bunch of things Ducati does. So with stage 2, I'm hoping that that's gonna fix it once I load it in here. I haven't ridden this bike with stage 2 yet, so I'm dry on this too. And hopefully we'll be able to at least get the front tire off the ground of this thing. I mean, without clutching, I mean. So there's that. There's the getting off the light issue, which it feels like I have to kind of give it more gas than I should have to, just to make sure this thing even gets off the line. Otherwise it'll stall, as you saw when I first got the vehicle. What is this person doing? Who knows? Come on. So it stalls like the first time I ever brought this bike out. And you can see every time I gas it, like I do this, I have to make sure I gas it up and then go, otherwise it'll stall, which is not fun whatsoever. So we got the restrictions, we've got the stalling issue, and I've heard hot starting it also causes issues. I've tried it a couple times. I haven't noticed anything myself, but I've heard that is an issue. I mean, other than that, just overall rideability, I'm not impressed with. I'd like to see more from this bike, especially something that is this expensive. Man, these people are everywhere. I do feel the bike is extremely balanced. It does have that nice V4 tone. It does sound good at the exhaust. It has a lot of potential. And I'm hoping the Stage 2 Flash does unlock it. So, I'll see you guys when I flash this thing with Stage 2. Oh, and one more thing that I keep on forgetting. Every time I ride these Ducatis, this throttle on the Ducati is pathetic. I mean, there's throttle slack everywhere. Look at this. That is throttle slack. I hate it. You want to get some Ducati throttle spacers. There's a guy in California does it. I think he's out of Huntington Beach or Laguna Beach or something like that. That's all he does. These are like 30 bucks. It's like the best mod you can throw on this bike. I love it when you don't have the slack in it. It just feels so much better. It feels so much more refined. So free plug for that guy. Get some Ducati spacers, 30 bucks, best mod you'll do, and super easy. Just kind of take 2 screws out of the throttle assembly here carefully. He even gives you the Allen wrench you need for it, or the special Allen key you need for those screws. And then I just put two little like sleeves in there. Super easy. Alright guys, that's it, and I'll see you when we load Stage 2. Alright, and I'm back here with the 2020 Ducati Streetfighter V4S. And this is our post-flash review. So I flashed already. And with the exception of me babysitting up and down the street, I really haven't tested this. So we're going to do a ride here and see. You'll get my first impressions of Stage 2 for the Streetfighter. Stage 1 obviously was, not Stage 1, sorry. The factory tuning was severely restricting the bike, almost laughably so. So we'll see if Stage 2 really unlocks this thing. Because stock, you're not getting full throttle until about 5th gear. So we're going to see if... now we got all the beans here. Racing Pro message on the dash. That's different than stock. That's a service light that has nothing to do with the flash. It's just the customer needs to service this stuff in about 24 days. The Ducati up map for the Acura typically says Racing Evo. So this one says Racing Pro on it, which typically you'd find on like the Termi up mapping. So let's get going here. Okay, that's a lot better. So just taking off now, it's not dying like it did before. Yeah, even low RPM, it's not dying. There was a stutter before, now it seems to be rectified. Let's get it going. Oh wow. Yeah, the throttle response is definitely much higher. Oh yeah. Picked up a little off the ground there. Very impressive. Very nice. Okay. Maybe let's get out of the neighborhood first before I start really getting on this thing. I love that Ducati sound. Oh yeah, she's good. Bringing the tire up, no problem. Alright, first ride here, let's do it. Let's see what kind of power we got here. Oh yeah, she's moving. A lot faster now. The tire will come up for sure. Look at this. Wow. Wow. That's a huge change from stock. I mean, massive. Oh my goodness. I did not picture a Street Fighter doing this. This is ridiculous. So because the gearing's shorter, I mean, this the bike's very lively. Extremely lively. And we'll try to ride it nice and civil right now, so we're not just seeing peak everything and oh my god, there's fast shifts and power. The Street Fighter is normally going to be ridden like normal, like this. There we go, very smooth shifting, extremely smooth. Throttle's predictable. Oh yeah, this is very nice. Before, the throttle was not predictable whatsoever. I didn't know what I was going to get when I twisted it. I mean, it was either going to give me some power or no power or just lay over. Now it's just very predictable. Oh yeah, it's very, very lively. I like this. This is how this bike should feel for sure. Now, of course, this is different than the actual V4 Street Fighter. Or not, sorry, this is the V4 Street Fighter. I mean the Panigale V4. The engine is the same, but we're dealing with different tuning that they put onto this thing for factory versus factory. And the gearing and the way the seating position is, and I mean, it's just meant for a completely different set of things with this bike. And now it's just performing them that much better. Even if you like to ride this thing slow, the throttle transitions, the shifting, everything's nice, but the main difference, even if you don't like to take the bike fast, is the throttle is now very predictable and consistent. That's what was changed from before, which every single gear and every single throttle position gave you kind of a different outcome. Now it's extremely manageable and predictable. You know exactly what you're going to get. This is like a one-to-one throttle transition for the mapping. It's not dying in the bottom. It feels good. It feels lively. Oh yeah. That's how a V4 should feel. That's how a V4 should shift. So we're gonna get it up here in the hills and see how it is in turns with the throttle the way it is. Because regardless if it's a Street Fighter or not, it is a Ducati. People love to track Ducatis. That or taken with Starbucks. So we'll find out what it does. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could take this thing to Starbucks and it's not gonna be much of a review, but let's just see what it does when I beat it up. All right, let's see what this bike, let's see what she can do, huh? Transitions are nice, shifting's not too abrupt. You get on and off the throttle here. Very nice. Very, very nice. The throttle transitions here at high RPMs. Not too abrupt, not too jolting. You can command the power. Very nice. Alright, let's see what she does going down the hill here. Make sure she's clear. And clear. Good Lord, that bike is not meant to go that fast. Wow. I mean, so the aero is obviously a big problem. And the gearing, of course, is not really meant for those kinds of speeds. So it's, once it gets up top there, it really starts like laying over. But it's no fault of the engine itself. Man, it's it feels unnatural because you're really trying to hang on to the motorcycle, but the wind's saying, nah, you're coming off, dude. So it takes a lot of effort to even go that fast on this bike, but just for what it's stipulated for, basically, like on the streets, urban riding, light to light, traffic, it feels amazing. The riding position is awesome. The feel, just moving in and out of traffic and stop and go, feels great. I think it's geared perfectly for that. I think the power from stage 2 really helps for the consistent nature of the power. Like, I can actually know when I give it 15% throttle, I know exactly what kind of power I'm gonna get. With the factory tuning, I had no idea what I was gonna get. It was a mixed bag, so sometimes I have to really lay into the gas and I get little bits of power, or sometimes I lay into the gas and it would surprise me a little bit. So it was a little bit annoying to try and keep that in the front of your mind while riding at the same time. So now at least you're getting something a lot more predictable, something more consistent. The cooling fans are coming on more with the stage 2. I'm noticing the bike's not heating up as much, which is also great for oil temps, engine temps, just overall better to keep everything cool. I'm not noticing any issues on cold starts or warm starts. Both seem to be going very well with the bike. Stop and go, like I said, very good. Power, consistent and good. Isn't just like it throws a bunch of power at you at the top end or anything. It's very predictable. I like the way it sits. And I know I've said that word too many times, so I'll try to use another word. And just the shifting with the faster quick shifter, it makes it a thrill to ride, just to hear that crack and snap when you go into different gears. Yeah, you can make it do that when it was stock, even with the stock tuning, but now it just does it a lot more often. Now I guess really the only thing to do here is do some 60 through 130 testing. All right, and we're ready here for the 60 through 130. You can see it marked off here, and we're good to go. All right, Ducati Streetfighter 60 through 130. Here we go. Feels a lot more lively. Jeez! There's power everywhere. We just finished the 60 through 130 testing with under 5 seconds, so 4.9, which is a pretty good gain, considering I was full throttle on the stock pulls, and it was easy. I just slapped the throttle and then hang on. That was it. Whereas the pulls post-flash, I had to babysit the throttle, otherwise the bike was going sky high. So definitely a lot more power in the bike, definitely a lot more consistent power. Even just normal riding, it feels great now. So I think that's going to wrap up our review here. Just to kind of go over the checkpoints. Consistent throttle, more power, revised torque, de-restricted throttle, tuning for actual exhausts. Quick shifter is revised. I mean, even right now, look at that, nice and civil, no upsets. I get downshift, no crazy upsets there too. So and then I think we're all good here. I'm gonna take her back and take her to her owner with the new tuning, see what he thinks. And I believe the next bike I will have is going to be a 2022 Aprilia RS V4, something that a lot of you have been waiting for. So I'll get to work on that bike with Brendan and get you guys some new content with a new motorcycle and hopefully a new product. We'll see you guys then.